Come on. Love this song. My conscience on your front doorstep. Woohoo! Hey there. How are you? How is everybody? How the devil are you? My little catch line. How the devil are you? How have you been? What have you been up to? Positivity, I hope. I hope you've been spreading the positivity. That's what we're doing for 2024. We are spreading positivity. That's what we're here to do. I didn't really know what to do on a podcast today. It's been a bit of a weird time. I don't normally do them on a Sunday because I finish work, or my little bit that I do. I finish it late, and I'm like, I don't get back till late. By the time I get my dinner and stuff, I'm absolutely exhausted. So it's I'm just trying to set that up right. So yeah, so it's a bit sort of it's interesting. I get a bit I don't want to sort of jump in and you know just drone on when I'm tired. I'm like, it normally comes across that I'm tired, and I'm like, oh, he's really not got the enthusiasm, so I don't like doing it. But at the same time, I'm like, fuck, I need to, because I know I've got shitloads to talk about. But I didn't really know what sort of where to push it, really. Where to push, what avenue. So I wrote something down earlier on, which is going to help me, it's going to aid me, just to try and talk about a topic that I thought about the other day. And I was like, that will be a good little topic. Write that down as I do. And yeah, and then I wanted to sort of digress. Last week, for me, was fucking a complete and utter wipeout. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, if I'm honest, because for me, I'm in a really, in fact, actually, there'll be a couple of questions I can probably pose to you, actually, which you, oh, Christ alive, what's happened here, James? Oh, I just knocked me bloody, I just knocked me mic. I was like, shit, what's going on? So yeah, there'll be a couple of questions actually I might be able to ask you, and my listeners. By listeners, I mean my little group, my group of fellow comrades. They listen to this, and normally they help me out as well. So it's interesting. Hopefully you'll be able to sort of digress into those, and maybe have a little bit of food for thought. Maybe you've come across the same sort of situation. I don't know. So yeah, so it's been a roller coaster of a week. I was on a quite a high profile. High profile, probably that sounds a bit arrogant. It's not really high profile. I was on a top level, if you like. It's going to sound really boring. P405, it's called, which is the gold standard asbestos course, if you like. You know, it's a week long, 5 days, and then it's 2 exams and a third exam on the Monday. And they're 2 hours long, the exams. So it's pretty intense. You don't have to do the third exam. That's the caveat bit. That's only about half an hour. That's a duty holder one. I'm not going to bore you again, but I'm just giving you a little bit of an idea. It's quite high level stuff. I learnt loads of stuff, and I've been doing compliance for it for like 2 years, and I've still learnt loads. So I walked away and I was like, oh, fucking hell. People have been pulling the fucking wool over my eyes for the last year. So I was like, so as I lifted the veil that they've put over me, I was like, you wait till fucking Monday morning, boys. I'm coming for you. You better fucking lock it up. I'm coming. So, yeah, so basically I was doing that. It's a bit of a, like I said, it's an emotional roller coaster, really, because I'm on the close down to finalise my role, and moving on and getting into a completely different role. So it's like a really uncertain time for me. Mentally, I'm a bit unfocused because I've got nothing to physically focus on. But I've still sort of been doing my job. So, and the way I wanted to do things was slightly different to the way that my team wanted to do things. I was like, I want to write it all down. It's easier for me. I like words. I don't want to verbalise something, because if I miss something, I'll be really fucking upset with myself, and then people will be coming back to me later on. So I want to do it written form. That's met some resistance, shall we say, which has exacerbated the situation. It's removed friendships, which was a bit batshit crazy from me. But I this is the whole protecting my own mental health thing, and this is something I'll talk to you about actually. So it's just got a bit bitter, the way I'm left, because I want to write things down and people don't want me to write things down because I write things down in length. But that's the way I deal with things. I want to write it down so I know I've got every single detail. Will it probably highlight some failings? Yeah, of course it's going to, because I'm writing it down. So if you verbalise something, people can manipulate that. It's like fucking history, isn't it? You know, if you write something down, which is why people I've learned in big corporations don't want to write things down, because they know when you write something down, you can hold them to account. and it's there in black and white. There's nothing you can do. It's fucking written from this person. If I verbalise it to him, you can then manipulate my words to make it sound less harsh that you've failed, okay? And that's the crux of it. That's the reason why I want to write it down, is because I feel the organisation for me has failed me and failed the system a little bit. So I want to do it properly. And yes, that is not. Some people are going to look offensively at that. Well, they have done, but that's the way I want to do it, because I want to know it's done properly, and I want to prove that I've done everything I could in my boundaries. Am I going over the top? Possibly, but I am, because of this. The area that I work in is safety, so and it works, and I work in asbestos safety. So if I haven't done something right, it's not a case of someone's fucking got to put plaster on. This is a case where if you don't do your job properly, and you're all then exposing people to asbestos and potentially giving them something, lung cancer and asbestosis in fucking 20, 30 years time, ruining their fucking lives. So I want to make sure that everything I've done is done properly. I'm not brushing anything under the carpet. So anyway, that's caused some frictions, shall we say. So it's caused some frictions. So that's where my work. So I've been trying to learn this exam. Learn this course and then ready for my exam, and I've been dealing with other incidents in work as well in the background, and then I was dealing with this, and it sort of came at the wrong time. So I kind of went, look, fuck off, let's just fucking park this. I've got personal shit going on, I've got private life shit going on, I've got work, I've got fucking handover, I've got to start of a new job, I'm raising my 3 fucking daughters, etc., etc. I don't need this little pressure here. So I basically typed in an email, back off. Like literally back off, leave me alone, okay? I'm going to do it properly, I know how to do this, fucking back off. And that's where it got to. It's got quite abrupt. That's resulted in people that I thought were friends of mine basically completely and utterly casting me aside, in the same sense. And now I know that will probably be perceived in some people's, well, there's always a two-sided story to everything. Of course there is, but I'm providing how I feel. Now that's how this situation's gone for me. So again, other people will see it as like you pulled away, or you're the one that's took the new job, etc., etc. So I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, I want for my mental health, and to understand the mental health journey, the stuff we talk about all the time, I want to address my mental health. How is it making me feel? Well, it's not making me feel comfortable. It's not making me feel like I'm happy. I'm struggling enough as it is, or we struggle enough as it is in life with, like I said, cost of living crisis and everything's going on, poverty everywhere. There's enough stresses in life. I don't want friendships to make me feel this way. I don't want work environments to make me feel this way. So what do? I can eliminate that. I just remove myself totally from that situation and deal with it in the most minute aspect I have to. So that makes me feel comfortable. And the friendships that I thought were friendships have not turned into be friendships. They've turned into be a little bit toxic for whatever reasons. That's how I've interpreted it. So I've cast that aside, and I've looked at it and gone, okay, I had a really good time, in that year or that 2 years that I knew that people. And yeah, thank you. You gave me insights, and you've helped me, and we've had some good times and we've had some bad times along this last 2 years. But I don't foresee, and this is where I'm probably looking for an answer for you, have I taken that a bit too harshly? Because I don't know. I don't know if I have done that harshly, but that situation was created by those in that situation. There is more details in it, but I don't want to sort of sound like I'm being catty, and I certainly don't want to sound like I'm going, oh, fucking get a violin out, James, fucking man up, so I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, affecting or effectively managing your mental health needs you to manage it. And sometimes I think, personally, you need to be a little bit selfish. And if that situation's caused that, whether that intent was completely meant by that person or those people, is irrelevant. It's made me feel that way. So And because I'm moving on, and I don't think that, we'll ever cross paths again, unintentionally, it would be a case of if we were ever going to cross paths, have to be arranged. Well, that's not going to arrange because we've fallen out of that. That's a chapter in my life. I spoke a few podcasts ago about this, about how we acknowledge that people come and go in our lives, but you can have a really strong friendship with these people. I have done, and I do make friends quite easily, because I suppose, well, I like it's interest in other people's lives, I suppose. So it's easy for me to bond in that sort of sense. But at the same time, I need to acknowledge that there needs to be a cut-off point. And that's the bit that I never had. That's the bit at the start of this journey 2 years ago I never had. I had a part of my life where, irrelevant of what was happening, so there would have been a fine line where, we get to a point where you're like, and I talk about this actually, so this is a way of sort of moulding it together. If you're putting in effort and you're not getting the same effort back. Do you remember what I said to you about that? I said, then you need to look at why. Why am I not getting that? Is there something I've done? And just reflect on it, basically. And that's what I mean. That was me reversing, by the way. Reflect on it. That's the important part. So, you reflect on that situation. I reflected on that situation. I went, okay, do I think I've done anything wrong? No, I've fallen out with this person because we've clashed. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, I do have policy, etc., on my side. So I have a valid argument to exit the way I want to exit. However, it didn't go with his agenda, and then that did turn sour in a couple of email exchanges, basically insinuating I was being fraudulent with my flexi time, etc., etc. There was a couple of little bit, you could see the so it did get a bit fractious, and I just went, well, no, okay, then that's fine. I acknowledge that. I've had a good friendship with him, and we've worked together for 2 years. But it's just gone bitter now. So what? Let's literally, let's draw the line in the sand. I'm never going to cross paths with him. There's billions of fucking people in this world. I'm never going to cross paths with him again. But what I used to do was go, I'll add you to Facebook. I'll add you to fucking Instagram. I'll add you to fucking Snapchat if you're that fucking young. Fucking not for me. Whatever social media, you'll add them to LinkedIn, whatever, you add them to that, and then you go, oh, we're besties and we're friends, and you acknowledge, and then you do it, and then you don't realise actually, well, this has gone sour. So you have to be an adult about this. Now, I don't want a constant reminder of that sour situation, the way it's made me feel. Thank you very much for the experience that we've had, but let's move on. And I think that's the growth, I suppose, the development of mental health, and how, I suppose the question, like I say, reverting back to the question is, have I been too harsh in that analysis, or the way I've dealt with that? Or is that just a perfectly practical way of dealing with it? I mean, I think for me, certainly helped my mental health was like, thank you, but it's gone toxic. You've got your own path. You're on your own path. We've helped each other get through the last 2 years of our life successfully, but let's move on. Let's move aside. And if it's bitter, yeah, I'm an argumentative prick. So at the end of the day, I'm argumentative if I know I'm right. And I'm also argumentative if I know I'm wrong, until I fucking think I'm right. Or you think I'm right. No, I don't. I'm not that arrogant. But yeah, if I know I'm right, and the thing is, I knew that I was right in this whole process. I knew what I had to do. And then my argument was at the time, well, I don't want to go above and beyond for this organisation anymore. I'm leaving the organisation because I want to go on to something different, better, and be, hopefully treated better in that situation. That's it, done and dusted. Right now, I'm on an exit, mate. I don't need to, there's no personal gain out of this, mate. So what do I have to do? And then what I had to do was exactly what I said, and we move on. So, but we're not going to talk again. So I think for me, that question sort of eliminates and bursts out there is, is that a good way of doing it? Listening to an actual scenario right now, and I've told people to do this is what I do, look after the people around you. And in fact, actually, one of the biggest statements, and also I will caveat that one of the persons that I have removed and just gone, it's a chapter, and hopefully this won't sound too petty. This is what I mean, but I do know that there was some rumours. The person was mentioning to other people that I was autistic and all this sort of stuff, which I think, well, number one, it's a protected characteristic, and number two, it's not really appropriate to be talking about other people's mental health, especially when the person actually was a mental health advocate. But yeah, there was a couple of little negative situations, and it just, you just sort of think, wow, okay, I didn't expect this. This is the blindsider for me, So, but I think it's important to move on, and that's the bit. There is little snippets, little tidbits, but I didn't want to sound petty, but I needed to give you a little bit of the gravity of the situation and how you deal with it. And like I said to you before, and something I'm a real sort of big advocate for is nurturing the right people around you. Oh, that was it in the statement. So I read this statement, and I think it's so important to understand this statement is surround yourself by people that speak kindly of your name in your absence. I think that's another way of doing it, but basically it's what it means is, have people that will protect your name around you, and clearly some of those people weren't protecting my name. They were doing whatever they needed to do to get on, and if they need to tarnish a name to make them look better and make a situation look better for them, they're going to do that. I get that. That's human nature. I'm not fucking stupid. I get that, but however, I've got I'm fucking meticulous with everything I do. So, it doesn't fucking bode me well, because I know that I do everything properly. Because I do it properly, fucking sun shines on me at this one. So I think it's important that we understand that. Oh, by the way, I've got a nice little cheeky pink gin and lemonade in a fucking can. My fucking missus went out last night to with her mum and all that sort of stuff, and my girls, to go and watch a show, and they were drinking Gordon's gin. And there was a couple of spares. I was like, cheers, easy. Lovely. So yeah, and I think it's important to be, and this is where I say nurture the right people around you. If you acknowledge the people around you are being toxic for whatever reason, and again, toxic's a strong word. They have their own. We all have our own agenda, and some of us go through life, and you'll be surrounded by people that will, if they can get something out of you, and once that thing's gone, they can't get something out. And this isn't personal experience, but this is what some people do. Just another example. They'll take advantage of you for as long as they can, and then if like I said, if it's positive for them to tarnish your name and move away from you, especially for someone like me, I think it's quite easy for me because I'm quite a vocalized person, so it's quite easy to assume that actually I'm the bad person because I can be perceived like that. In fact, my kids always say to me, why are you so intimidating, Dad? And I was like, well, I'm really not, mate. I'm just fucking walking around. But obviously with the deep voice and everything else, it does come across a little bit intimidating. In fact, actually a friend of mine actually messaged me. I can't remember. Said I thought I might have the message, and said that I was I'm quite intimidating, and I don't mean to be. Actually, I'm an easygoing person, but I have got a bit of a fucking loose temper. Okay, I'm trying to control that shit. But yeah, I had a friend. So that's like two people have said recently. That I know. One of them was my family. So my daughter literally was like, Dad, why are you so fucking intimidating? And I don't know whether the scenario was worth saying that. She sort of came down in the morning, and it was like, we just having breakfast, or she just brought her breakfast in, and I just said, does she want to fight? And she said no, and I said, I really want to punch you in the nose. She said I was quite intimidating. I don't see it myself. I thought that was friendly banter. Clearly it's not. Clearly, by the way, for anyone out there thinking, no, that's fucking, it did happen, but not like that, okay? It's banters. It's all the banters, mate. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so it's really interesting. So I think that it was like, the more I think about these and the way I dealt with it for myself. And I think that it's really important that you do that. Like, I don't look at that. I don't look at any of that situation negatively. I'm not being childish and going, I'm just going to remove you and go, and then start talking badly of the name, whatever. No, it's like, thank you very much. But now we move on. We just go aside. Some negative things have happened. Let's move on. It's fucking nice. Let's be adults about this. Let's not be arseholes. Great experience. Fucking, I'm not going to speak badly of you. But yeah, for you and me, that's done. And I think it's important you do that with friendships. If you can't get through the hurdles and you've got friends around you that are just, stripping you and just fucking not giving back into what you're giving. So like I said, I've said this hundreds of times over podcasts. If you're the person that's putting in 110% and you're going fucking max chat, doing everything you can, and then you sort of look around and that's not happening the other way. You've got to make that, you've got to make that call. You've got to turn around and say, well, okay, well, there's nothing we can do about this. So either put in the same amount and let that slide and start putting that effort you've gained from, pardon me. Sorry about that. I was talking and it came out of nowhere, came out of the blue, jumped up. So and if you can't manage that, you put in less. What you then do, you will have this surplus time, this time you would have put into that situation to put somewhere else. And I think that's important, is making sure that you do that. I think you just go, okay, yeah, I can now put that time into something else. Maybe that time goes into a hobby. I don't know. That's the important things. And while we talk about hobbies, actually, here we go. Literally, I was a little bit. That was a good 20-minute rant there, James. Jesus Christ! I was filling out my ADHD form. Oh, by the way, I've been this psychiatrist thing, referral now. It's all gone through. So I've got a ADHD and autism psychiatric performer that I had to do. So I had to get my partner to fill it out. That's what it said, partner. And then I had to fill out loads like 20 questions. In fact, I'm going to tell you the little story about that before I talk about today's bit of how these forms go. Okay, so got this form through, and it's a psychiatric pre-assessment form, and then you have to fill it out. And then basically you go on there, and there's like 4 different tabs. One tab is for your self-assessment. Another tab is for an assessment by someone you know or you've known for a long period of time, and you've lived with, etc. So, naturally I chose my missus, and then in the next one line probably would have been Kieran, because he knows me just as fucking bad, just as well as my missus. So I would have, that's the important. So that was the next one. Then there was one after that. It said, I can't remember what it was. There was like confirming another thing, and then there was another box for confirming something else, and you had to put in all your details. Anyway, comes to the self-assessment. So I went through the thingy assessment with my missus, went through that. That took about fucking half an hour, because you have to say how often you do something, and then you have to put examples with 1,000 words, up to 1,000 words of examples that you've done. So we went through this, and I was like, they say the assessments are things like, do you lose your keys? And that can be, anybody can lose fucking keys, but you have to explain different scenarios of when you lose your keys. Do you often get sidetracked and all this sort of stuff? And it's like, I had to use an example that, I might be doing a job somewhere in the garden, and then I'll look at the grass and I'll be starting to cut the grass, and then I'll be doing, it's just like that. It's sort of like that, trying to explain in examples of how your brain thinks. So I did this for like half an hour, and by the time I'm getting fucking threaders now, because I'm like hearing stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not how that fucking situation happened. So I'm there. That's turned into a fucking blindside argument. And then I came out, and I just sat in the man cave, and I was doing the self-assessment, and it was like triple the one that we did before. So I got like quarter of the way down these questions, and I'm like, but it doesn't just ask that; it asks for childhood examples. So I had to put in about things like my suspension, how I was internally suspended, externally suspended for fighting, calling the teacher a fucking idiot. I called her something else actually. I did call her the FNC. So I did drop the C-bomb on her. So yeah, no, there was like examples of what where. So I had to give all these examples anyway. I got to about quarter of the way through, and I got to the point where I was like, I can't keep doing this. I physically, I couldn't keep doing it. I was like, is this form designed to be so long so that when you do get through to the end of it, that you prove, yeah, well, the guy never even got to the fucking end. I was like, is that what they want? They don't want me to complete this? Because they don't want me to complete this if they've got this fucking form this long asking for this much information. I am fucking threaders with this already. So I was like, well, it can't be that then. So what I did was I went to the first 4 boxes, and I just fucking wrote down like about 200 examples of everything. I just went, yeah, this. And I just filled it with stuff I do, stuff I've done, little things I was talking about. And I just fucking filled it out. And then I got to the boxes because you had to complete them before you could move on. So you couldn't even 100% it without putting something in the box. So I just put as above, 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 all the way down. I was like, I've done my bit. Okay. And then I put at the bottom, I was like, there's no way that I can complete this form. So I literally was like, I just fucking put submit. I was like, no, I don't fucking care. This is fucking bonkers, mate. This is a massive. So yes, I don't know about that form, but positives are I've got assessments coming out my ears. I'm finally getting support. I fucking can't wait. I can't wait to get down this little journey and hopefully get the help that I need so I can start enjoying fucking society, as they say. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to break into a little bit of escaping. What does he mean by escapism? And this is what I wrote. So, and it's interesting because I spoke, it's only because basically I touched base, I spoke a little bit in the podcast last week about going how some of us escape reality. We try to escape reality. Men do it, I think, in ways like gaming, and or they'll go to the pub, they'll be drinking excessively, whatever it may be, drinking, fucking gaming, all sorts of little things that we end up doing, gambling, and it's interesting how we put ourselves into these situations to escape reality, because sometimes the reality is overwhelming. We're not wired for, I don't think fucking most human beings are wired for today's society, to be honest. And the way it goes, it's very fast paced. But I think it's just kind of like I say, this is the mental health side. So for men, and I think that men don't deal with it with each other. They don't talk about it, and that's the bit where what we tend to do is, because we don't talk about it, we tend to escape into our worlds. And by worlds, I mean you get into like gaming, and gaming for me was a massive escapism for absolute years. I could put my headphones on, noise cancelling headphones on, stare at a fucking screen, and just shut away life. Play games, chat with fucking everyone that you're chatting to he thinks exactly the same as you, because you're playing the exact same fucking game, doing the exact same things. And I built up some weirdly fucking amazing and fun friendships. I knew Americans for like 2-3 years of playing games, and I really did escape into the world. And it was in my mainly, I think, my sort of late 20s. I think it was. No, was it late 20s? No, it was about mid 20s actually. It was just after we'd had sort of a couple of kids, and I just went into this. My mate brought me into this gaming world and said, you need to try this, mate. And I remember texting him one day and said, fucking, what games do you recommend, mate? And he was like, I recommend Battlefield. And I was like, okay. So I got stuck into Battlefield, and I was like, fucking hell, here we go. And then I went and bought like a $2.5 PC, and I just got completely and utterly. It was the best escapism from life. But to the point where I immersed myself into it, and I, to the point where, and this is a bit of a geeky achievement, but I got like number 3 in the world in a helicopter, which is number 3 attack helicopter. For doing scrims and all this sort of stuff. So there'll be gamers out there who'll be like, oh, fucking hell, that was pretty smart, mate. But then there'll be a lot of people going, what the fuck, mate? Get a life. I get it. But it was escapism for me. It was an enjoyment. I could put my headphones on, I could stare at a screen, and I could talk to like-minded people about the same thing, because we were playing the same games. We were, we had our own sort of tactical fun, it was just brilliant. You shut away. And I know that there's a lot of men out there that do this. They get suckered into things, and we do it. So I wrote down this little bit, and sort of, it's not a negative or a positive, because sometimes it is a positive to escape into a world, because we need that space. We need something to give us hope. So I'm not saying this is going to be a negative, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of an emphasis point on why we do it, and maybe to watch out. Are you doing it? With a little caveat on why I think that. So it's kind of like a real full circle. The full circles come back. So I put down, and I wrote this down, and the reason I write this down, because obviously I want to share this with you. So I put, be careful what you plough your free time into. Sometimes you're escaping the reality and not facing the challenges that will actually positively impact your life. Drinking, gaming, gambling can steal time you should be using to make the right changes to bring a better future. That's what I wrote down. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it's important to have escapism. I think escapism comes in so many different forms. We need escapism as human beings. We absolutely do. Escapism is what gives us purpose through the week. We have to get through these mundane Monday to Fridays, or 5 days a week, whatever your shift pattern is. But you have to do the mundane things to be able to get the escapism. The escapism really is just a way of enjoying the little time you get, because you have to plow so much time into an organization. So realistically, we're all modern day slaves. That's the easiest way to interpret it. We all have to do a certain amount of hours a week, for a certain company. We don't know what the fucking end goal is. We're just here to do this. And then what we do is we escape at the weekends. We escape or our days off. If you get them. Some people don't get them. I get that. But this isn't about that. What this is about the fact that sometimes that escapism is needed. We need it to get through life. If we don't have escapism, if we don't have something that we enjoy, then life just gets worse. So I understand that. I get that. That's the important bit here. We need escapism. Because reality is a fucking harsh place, let's be honest. Unless you're rich and wealthy, you've been born into it as well, so you didn't have to even fucking work for it. If you're one of those, then life really, is a pretty fucking tough place to be. You've got to continuously do the right things to get advancement in life. You have to invest in yourself. You have to want to give yourself goals. You have to give yourself purpose. You have to say to yourself, I'm going to leave this job in 6 months. I've had enough of it. What do I need to do to leave this job? And then work towards it. Or this relationship's fucking horrendous. I'm going to work on it. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be open and honest and move on from it. All of these little scenarios that we deal with on a daily basis, friendships, another one. Right, I'm going to pump some money into, not money, I'm going to pump some time into this and see if I get the same thing back. If I get ignored and nothing comes back, then it's dead. Cut it in the water, move on. That's that's the important bit. Otherwise, what you do is you'll get wrapped up in all of that negativity of having that toxic job, toxic relationship, toxic friendship. You've got those 3 pillars and they're all toxic. They're all fucking slimy and horrible. Then you're going to you're never going to get up to the next step because your step's covered in that slime. That's the easiest way to metaphor this is if you imagine life as a building block. And the building block to success. What is success? Again, everyone has a different interpretation of success, so it doesn't matter. Success for some people can be infinity. I know. I imagine that Elon Musk's level of success is going to be far-fetched because he's done so much. So he's going to be reaching for the fucking stars, quite literally, to get his success. Whereas some people, success is getting out of bed. There's such the spectrum between people's definition of success is so big. I don't think it's possible to be measured. It all depends. We're all individuals. We're all a fingerprint. Remember that. So I think it's important to talk about that. I think it's important to understand that, this is where we instill certain things into life. This is where we instill goals. This is where we instill the positivity to give us something to work for as an individual. Your journey should be unique to you. It should be about you. You should be the one that's getting satisfaction out of your journey. If your escapism is, like I've had many escapisms in my life, if I had an escapism where I was, I wanted to try wakeboarding. I tried wakeboarding, I fucking loved it. And then spent the first year trying it, and then the second year I was like, I'm going to do a backflip this year. I did a backflip. That was it. That was my escapism done. Fucking move on. And again, that's the problem with, I suppose, the other mental health side of things is, I lose interest in hobbies and things like that. 2 years is quite a long time for me, so commendable for that one. But I think it's important to understand that escapism is needed. But we need to manage that escapism. Because sometimes our escapism, and this is where I briefly talking about the other little sentence there, our escapism can actually steal our time. So noting that, let's be honest, if your escapism is a hobby where it's running, where it's there's whatever it may be, swimming, gaming, fucking gambling, whatever, going out partying, whatever, all of those, if that's your escapism, I can guarantee that most of those escapisms will not be giving you something positive for the future in terms of success or helping you to succeed. So if you make sure that when you do that, your escapism is at an enjoyable phase, but don't put off certain things that are going to help you for your future, is what I'm trying to say there. So what I'm trying to say is, if you need to do a course to advance into your career, and sometimes that may be a 1 week course, then put your escapism aside for 1 week. Prime example for that for me is every Wednesday, I meet up with my dad and my best friend. We go to the Dunk, the local working man's club, because they're rare as rocking or shit. The unicorn of pubs is the working man club, but I fucking love it. Free pool on a fucking pool table that's got fucking more stains than fucking Sticky Vicky has on a Friday night at $2 fucking party. So that's a level of stains, you know. But hey, it's free. The pints at a good price. It's always warm. Or it's always cool in the summer. It's always warm in the winter, and it's a great atmosphere. It's all working men in there. It's a working man's club, you know, and I enjoy it. So that's my escapism on a Wednesday. I have a cheeky pint, job done. It's nice. I get to chat with my dad. I get to chat with my best friend. We just fucking put the worlds to right, rip the shit out of each other, bit of pool, bit of darts. It's enjoyable. I love it, actually. So that's my escapism. But last week I was on a course. So during the course, I just said, there's no way in the world we normally meet up at 6 o'clock. No way in the world that I can do this course. Normally I finish at 7 o'clock. I need to do this homework. I could put the homework off for one night and blag it the next day. But why? My escapism is there for a reason. However, the escapism this week would have hindered my future. It could have potentially made it so when I got to the exam on Friday that I didn't put enough effort in on that one day and that question set we needed to do in the evening. And maybe there's questions that come up and I was like, oh, fuck, I could have paid attention for that. So it's important that escapism is there. It needs to be there because it helps me. It helps me positively get through my week. It breaks my week up. It gives me a place to go and have a bit of fun, relax, chat, get out of the routine of house life and just people around you that, you know, just breaking it up, different conversations. So it's important to do that. It's only a couple of hours. It's honestly, it's golden. But it's important that I know that the course was really important for my future. So I needed to pass this course because I wanted to get it wrapped up and I wanted to understand it in its entirety. And it's always nice to have a lovely, at that level, when you're at the level 5, 6 and 7s, of education. And that's not an arrogant way, but when I say when you get there, you really want to retain those certificates because they are big achievements. A lot of people that I know at the moment, they're doing the health and safety degree, but they've not actually physically done it. And I'm going to go like I get frustrated because I'm like, that's a really good course. It's a degree. Gives you a degree that's like quite big, you know, when you start getting into the realms of the senior leadership side of things. It really bolsters your knowledge, your experience. So utilize it properly. But some people don't, and I get that. That's fine. They don't want to invest in their future. That's up to them. So for me, when you get to that level, I really wanted to understand. I really wanted to have a positive week educationally. I thought 1 week aside, it's fine. And everybody, the messages from my dad and my bestie fucking came back in. Bosh, don't worry, mate. Smashed the course, fucking homework on it. And the banter was flying in the WhatsApp. It was brilliant. So we still got a bit of banter. We still had a bit of a chat. And, you know, we were able to move forward with it. So I put the effort in, had the exams on Fridays. Hopefully, fingers crossed, smashed it, pashed it. That was pashed it. I don't know what that was. 2 seconds while I take a sip. Got the old Sahara Desert throat. I'm proud of myself for doing this, to be fair, this long, because it's been a long day. My eyes are like, honestly, they're like, what's his name? Tom and Jerry. When Tom was going around and he had the fucking proper things. He had the matchsticks holding him up. That's what I'm like. I'm like, oh, it's been a long day. But yeah, I think escapism's important. It is invaluable, actually, because it helps you. Because hopefully that escapism's positive. If you immerse yourself into the gaming world, of course it's going to be positive. It's going to come with its realms of fun and experiences. It's going to, in fact, actually gaming is massively, massively important to mental health because actually fires the triggers off and everything. It gets your brain working really, really actively. So it's actually a good thing. But again, moderation. Everything in moderation is good, honestly. So depending on what that escapism is, acknowledging that it's not always going to benefit your future. So make sure that if that escapism's there, that you give enough time for that, but also give enough time for self-reflection, self-importance, self-navigation, self-growth. All of these things, you need to be investing in yourself. Self-investment is the biggest key here. Invest in yourself for a success. Give yourself that goal. Why am I going to be? What am I doing this for? Am I going to do this course? I could have said last week, what's that course going to benefit me for? Because there's people out there who do. I did it about 3.5 years ago. I went and did every fucking course I can imagine. I spent £600 on like fucking about 100 one-day courses. Like 1 day, 2 day courses. I was like, just literally smashing the shit out of them. Just because I did a couple of qualifications through the this Knowledge Academy and all sorts. And that's what I thought it was. I was like, I need to show people certificates. I'm doing all this. This is fucking amazing. Look at this. No, it doesn't. Because it's all over the fucking place. They look at it and go, you've just done a load of courses, buddy. You're fucking batshit crazy. What are you actually doing? Are those courses going to be pertinent to your future? Well, that's the avenue you need to go down. And if you want something, go get it. Do the course, go and get it. Or whatever you need to do. Shadow people, get experience, get an apprenticeship, whatever you need to do. Volunteer, get that experience to help your future. So make sure that your escapism doesn't steal that time away. You need to invest in yourself. So many times, I mean, when I cast my mind back to, I suppose, the longer days, if we'll call them, and I could have invested so much sooner in my life and in me. I could have invested so much sooner if I'd have spoken up, if I'd have allowed people to know that I was struggling, if I'd have allowed myself to know I was struggling. If I'd have done all those, I could have invested in a lot sooner. I may have been a lot further than I thought. But I've sat for the last 20 years in this ball of depression, manic depression, going around in fucking circles, battling my own fucking demons, and then coming in and dealing with other demons that you have to face all the time with families and friends. And life can be quite a difficult place. But if I'd have stopped and done these things and put myself in check, if I'd have said, right, are those people around me actually valued in my future? Do they actually care about me? Because and trust me, I still make those mistakes now. I think people that care about me genuinely do. I have, I suppose, that good heart that I think, well, there must be some kindness in there. You're not always right with that. You don't always make the best judgment. But what you try to do is the right thing at the right time, because there's no set plan in life. There's no one to tell you when to go and do this. There's no one to tell you what you're going to enjoy. You need to try different things to see what you enjoy. That's the fun of going through life positively, is trying new things, doing new things, and experiencing new things. And if you enjoy that thing, that escapism then becomes another massive amount of fun. And then what you start to do is and this is the enjoyment aspect of the escapism. Once you focus on that self-investment, you get yourself into a role and a job or somewhere that helps you become financially stable, because society does rely on you being a little bit financially stable. When you get into that situation, you feel confident in your role. The role becomes not easy, but it becomes where it should be. You're not learning. If you keep going, if you're having to fucking go in every day and face that job like it's a fucking challenge every single day, then you're not learning something. Something's not clicked. Maybe you're not right for that job. Maybe you need more training, whatever it may be, because you should be going in to enjoy your job. There should be an element of experience that you come and pick up, and we're human beings, so there's a lot of common themes, common agendas in life. And it's very easy. I think the easiest way to interpret it, because I love safety. Come on, James, bore it up. I think because for me, we're humans. We do the same things. It's like, oh, what's coming up next month, James? Oh, it's a ski trip. Okay, then, so just look out for near misses on broken legs and all this sort of. You look for the same things, slip, strips, and falls. We're humans. We do the same things repetitively. Every now and then we'll get a spanner in the works and someone will go and lick something that they shouldn't do, and you go, fucking hell. Like we had that little epidemic of children thinking that let's put Tide Pods in our mouth and fucking because they look fun, because they're all colourful and shit. Well, no, but it's a fucking detergent. And then went through this generational thing where they thought that was funny. Let's put detergent in our mouth and wonder why we'd nearly die. So yeah, every now and then we get chucked a curveball. There's something coming through, but we get that with every generation, you know. I mean, and again, I can revert this straight back to my job now. Asbestos in the '80s, best thing since sliced fucking bread, mate. I mean, in the Wizard of Oz, if you, and this is a little tidbit for you here. This is a little bingo hall or a pub quiz. The snow in fucking Wizard of Oz, the snow scene, where they were chucking that white snow in the air, that is pure asbestos. Pure asbestos, that is. So yeah, fucking, we thought it was that good, we were going to fucking bathe in it. Yeah, now we literally go anywhere near it and fucking people are fucking almost dead. Like, fucking you dickhead. So yeah, every generation comes with these new challenges. We try new things. So I understand that. But anyway, escapism. It's important to have the right things. It's important to have something to focus on. So when you become, confident in your job, that's the word I'm looking for, James. When you become confident, not easy, confident in your job, you can sit there then and you can do what the Australians already do now. You can work to live. Yeah, work to live. So you work to live, have a good time, have experiences. And that's when you see the Australians, they go, "No, mate, we fucking work to live down here." That was a shocking Australian accent. Sorry, I get stuck in it. Dickhead. It made everyone cringe. Good. But yeah, so it's sat there, and they're that's what they do. They go out and they enjoy the sun and the weekends and everything else. We don't do that as Brits. We live to work. So what we tend to do is we tend to get sucked into these real negative escapisms where we get fucking balled into, I'm going to drink, or I'm going to fucking do drugs, or I'm going to go out partying, or whatever it may be, gambling, gaming. We do these things where basically what we do is we work Monday. This is what most Brits do. We work Monday to fucking Friday. We put in shitloads of hours. And then we get to the weekend and we go, I don't want to sleep because I want to enjoy as much time as I can, because Monday to Friday is fucking horrendous. So you get to Sunday and you wonder why you're completely and utterly bollocksed. And then you go, I'm dreading tomorrow. And you do that. And we do this every time. So we get to the point where we go back at night and we've had a really shit day. So we think, I'm going to escape into my fucking, into my head and my world, my gaming, my gambling, my drinking, whatever it may be. What we need to do is revert that back round. And is that naturally what we... And some people may want that as an escapism. I get it. And they may like that form. We're all, if you can live like that, fucking crack on. That may be your success. But then that would revert back to, that's your success. So you've hit your success level. So that's done. You don't need to... There's no stress for you. That's your escapism. That's your job. That's you. You're good to go. If you're happy at that level, brilliant. If you're not happy at that level, and this is the importance, this is all bolstered, and this is all underpinned by the fact that we're talking about mental health. So if you're listening to this, you're talking about the fact that you're not happy in your role, you're not happy in your relationship, you're not happy in those friendships, or whatever it may be. So we need to make sure that we don't dive into these escapisms and not work on ourselves, because maybe we might be diving into that escapism. What's that negative of that escapism? If you're doing that and you're, staying up fucking all hours, I know this because I've done it, and playing computer games, well, I'm putting on weight. I'm now becoming, my muscles aren't firing as quick as they should be. I'm not as strong as I should be. I'm not as, I'm not as sort of, my body isn't working as efficiently as it should be. I'm getting colds all the time. This is all stuff that happened to me when I was gaming, because I just used to shut myself away, eat fucking stupid hours of the fucking day. I'd ram down my tea while my fucking computer was loading, because I was fully embedded in this gaming world. And then you start living, and you see this where they've brought out sugar-free drinks to give people the high from caffeine drinks, so like Monster and Energy and all that sort of stuff, because people are doing that for gaming, and they're just chugging these fucking things down and wondering why they're fired and wired. And we've got fucking people with schizophrenia running around because they're living off of, batshit crazy fucking Monster drinks, energy drinks, Red Bull, fucking plowing into, computer games and stuff. So it's batshit crazy, isn't it? It's. I think that's the importance we're trying to understand here is. The escapism, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with a bit of escapism. but everything's in moderation. So we make sure that we're not making ourselves morbidly obese. We make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance, because at the end of the day, if you're sat there gaming or gambling or just not getting out and not doing a lot of things, drinking all the time down the pub and not, getting the general exercise, the healthy eating, etc., and you've got that lifestyle, you're going to make your lifestyle even shorter anyway. You're going to end up putting your heart under loads of strain, your arteries under loads of strain. And that's the medical side of things as well, which doesn't help. And all of this doesn't help your mental health. Your mental health's not going to fucking recover if you're not getting out amongst nature, if you're not getting those endorphin rushes from exercise. How many times do we see people that say, go to the gym? It's not about going to the gym to go there, I've got to fucking do a marathon. You don't have to walk in the gym and go, I need to do a marathon. You don't need to do that. Look at the positives of what the gym brings to you. If you've got mental health problems, what does the gym bring to you? It brings a lot. It brings socializing. It brings endorphins. It brings adrenaline, because you're watching. There's. It's just a real big. It's just a fun zone to be in, and that's what helps your mental health side of things when you go to these activities and you do these classes or you do your escapism. It all comes with positives, and the gym, it comes with, I wonder what that was. It comes with all the endorphins and everything, socializing. So you come back and you've had a social, your brain is filled with fun. And you get the same when you go out for a walk. Why do you get that? Because you're amongst nature. You're taking in different smells. You're taking in the environment, the different conditions, the water on your face, which is filled with natural minerals. You're getting the natural Earth's energy without sounding like a fucking geek. You're getting all of that naturally, though. And these are all important markers to help us with our mental health. It's so important that we do this. It really, really is. And I don't do it enough. I know I don't. And that's when I sit there and I'm shouting at myself, like, why are you like this, James? And I reflect and go, well, you haven't been out today. You haven't done that. You haven't done that. You've not drunk fucking hardly any water. All these things, all these steps, I check them off and go, well, that's my basics. I mean, that's 101. You know that you should go out and try and get at least half an hour exercise a day. They tell you to do that. You should be getting at least 2 litres of water a day. You should be trying to get, with that exercise, try and incorporate that exercise with being outside. All of these things they tell us to do: eat our vegetables, eat our greens, take our vitamins. We have to do these things. But so many of us don't, and we just wonder why our fucking mental health's in a crippling state. And we go, well, it's because I'm not doing any of that. I'm getting rest. And I said this in my last podcast, didn't I? I said, I'm getting sleep. That's what I am getting. Because that's what we have to get. That's our basic function as a human being, is we need to rest. And if your mind is battering around like an absolute Looney Tune, and you're not giving yourself, your body, that energy, making yourself... in fact, prime example, I'll give him a little shout out today. My man Nelster today, you can see the change in him. He's gone out and done exercise. He's losing weight. He's feeling confident. And he's feeling confident because he's got energy. He's getting up in the morning. He's getting out and about. He's getting it forward. He's taken on new roles to bring more money into the house. All of these, all positives, engagements. Yes, he does every day. Every time I sort of see one of his posts, I go, fucking hell, mate, fair play to you. But he's putting the work in, and he's feeling the benefits for it now. And that's the positive there, is that he's putting the work in and now he's feeling the benefits. And we can all do that. We all have to do that. Or we'll just sit there and we'll fade away. That's the crux of it. You'll fade away. You're not going to provide anything. If you want to exist on this planet to just exist and not, and I don't mean you need to go out there and make a mark, because some people get fixated on, I need to leave a legacy. You don't need to leave a legacy. You just need to enjoy your time. You just need to do the fun things in life. You need to be able to go and socialise. You need to be able to go out and get out and about. You need to go and get that job that you want to get that relationship you want to get without being a stalker or some sort of crazy bastard. Calm down. But it's really important you do the things positively in your life. I'm going to finish there on that nutshell, on that little bombshell, that little wanga-danga-danga. I'm going to finish there because I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered. So yeah, just be conscious. Work on your escapisms. Make sure that they're done in moderation. Everything's in moderation. You can have alcohol, but moderation. You can have, you can have good food, but moderation. You can have fast food, moderation. Exercise is moderation. Again, we're looking at the positives forward. Chucking it forward. You don't have to exacerbate your run. You don't have to go out and do a run. You can go out and do a fucking jog. You can even go out and do a walk. Okay, you don't need to go, oh God, I'm not going to do this unless I literally run at 400 miles an hour. I'm not going to lose this weight. No, you can lose this weight, mate. Just little and often. Get out half an hour a day. And these are all changed, learned habits. Okay, these are all learned habits. Remember that learned habit thing. I cast my mind back to that. 3 months. Do it for 3 months. Let it win. Let you see it winning. So many of us in this fucking world at the moment are so impatient. It's bad enough that I'm one of them. So it's like, but we're so impatient. I say to my daughter, she's like, oh, my skin's really bad on like Monday. And I'll be like, oh, okay, darling, what do you need? And she'd be like, so I did a lot of research for her on skin. So I went and bought this Nip and Fab, I think it is. It seems to be the best stuff. The positives are we can jump a quick step here. It worked. My research worked on this Nip and Fab for a skin condition. Anyway, reverts quickly back. So she kept saying to me, I was like, but I'll get this, but you need to give it a couple of weeks. You've got to let the pH balance in your face settle and all this sort of stuff. She looked at me and went, a couple of weeks. But I need it by Thursday, mate. And I'm like, oh, do you? Okay, well, what do you want me to do if it's not done by Thursday? She's like, well, I want you to tell me it is. And I'm like, no, that's not going to fucking happen. Okay, you need to do this for at least 2 weeks. That's what I'm telling you. Okay, there's nothing I can do on Monday right now. You're telling me there's nothing I can do for you before Friday for your breakouts. Okay, I can't help that. Fucking suck out a buttercup. All right, concealer it. All right, I've seen some fucking weirdos on TikTok that can make themselves look fucking hot and make me question. Okay, so yeah, fucking if they can do it, get on it. All right, put putty on and whatever you got to do. I've seen Chinese. I've seen them put fucking tape so they can tape their face into different shapes. Do that. Fucking work on it. If not, fucking nothing I can do. So yeah, but it's important. We get very impatient, don't we? We get fucking impatient. It's vile. I hate it, and I'm impatient because everything's tomorrow. We fucking. What do you mean? We go down shopping now, and I'm like, in fact, actually, a little snippet. So I went into this guy, and I parked in town, and I was on thing, and I needed a bike cover because I haven't got a bike cover for my bike. So I dived into this motor shop and I said to him, can I get a bike cover, mate? If you haven't got a bike cover, have you? Because I thought I'll pay the service because, it's going to be probably a little bit more expensive than getting it on Amazon, but I've got it right here and now. It's going to rain tonight, so it'll cover the fucking bike. Job done. And he went, nah, mate. And he looked over at his little bike store and he went, do you know what? We're having fucking loads of trouble getting hold of them. They're really fucking hard to get hold of. And I was like, oh, okay, mate. No worries. And then as he stood there, I went, oh, it's okay, mate. I've got Amazon. They've got me a choice of 20 here for 15 quid delivered tomorrow. Thanks, mate. Cheers. No wonder. All right. No wonder you're fucking going out of the high street, buddy. You're right. You're not stocking a little bit of something. All right. Again, that's why we're here. But let the big guys win. But it's so it's important that we acknowledge we're very impatient, aren't we? And we do because we're spoiled. We're spoiled. Everything's on demand. Everything's there when you want it. Everything's software. It's all fucking bosh, click, download, got it. Pay, got it. Yeah, everything's quick, isn't it? It's quick. But the reality is things aren't quick with the things that matter. Remember that. The things that matter don't happen quickly. You won't lose that weight in fucking 2 weeks. You won't fucking, you won't save that money in 2 weeks. You won't lose that spot in 2 days. All these things, they won't happen. It's just not, you can be spoilt by the electronic things in our life and deliveries, etc. You can be spoilt by them. Absolutely, yeah. But you can't be spoilt by the mental health journey. That takes time. I've been working on mine for 3 years and I'm fucking nowhere near. And that's not, I don't mean nowhere near in a scary fact, but what I mean is I've still got things I need to click into place. I've still got little things I need to manage. There's things I need to work on. There's still myself I need to work on. I'm still managing life. I'm still trying to find my feet, and I'm 42. That's what I'm saying. Every day is precious. Every day is important. Make sure you're working positively every day. for something in the future for yourself. If not, if it might be tomorrow, whatever it may be, it might be the weekend. I'm going to work towards having a good weekend. I'm going to go out and do bloody surfing this weekend. Fucking yeah, let's do it. So work for the positives of yourself. But when I say work, I don't mean work for the man. I mean work for you. Work for you. You're the person that matters in this world. It's like when I said this to my boss the other day. I said to him, he said, you need to do this, and this. And I said, with all due respect, mate, you're not my priority now, mate. I'll do what I have to do to move on, but you're not my priority. My priority now is me and my family and my new job. So you are fucking done, dusted, mate. I will give you the minimum of what you need from me for me to move on successfully. You've had 2 years work out of me. That's it. That's what you've had. Don't ask for more, okay? This isn't this isn't matey boy. More, please, sir. I'll fucking slap you. I'll fucking give you a backhander. Anyway, shut up, James. Stop talking. I hope you have an amazing, positive week ahead of you. And, smash out the bag, people, all right? Look at the positivity. Spread the love and the positivity. Think about your friends. Think about your loved ones. Reflect on yourself. When you walk in on Monday morning, is everything... Have a little reflection. Is this where I want to be? Am I happy? Yes, I am. Is there anything I can work on? Anything I need to help myself with? Ooh, I reckon that's got, work. Have a look. Always reflecting. Okay, because it's for the positives of you. This is all about you. If you reflect on all of these things and you aim and work positively and invest in yourself, you'll see things. Things will come to fruition. Move aside the shit that doesn't matter. Okay, if someone wants you to do something, look at them and go, is that going to benefit me? Do I need to do it? No, fuck off then, mate. See you later, bye. Obviously help people out. Don't be a wanker. But, but look after your mental health. All right, take care, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Love you.